What is going on, everybody, man? King Recon here. And, dude, man, I apologize for having this out late, man, because I was waiting for this chapter all day Thursday. And then yesterday, I was having problems with my computer. So I wasn't able to do it yesterday. And then last night, whenever I got home from work, man, I was dead tired. And you can never read something like Hunter, at least me. You know, I'm already dumb enough as it is. If I read Hunter x Hunter, whenever I'm dead tired, man, I'm gonna miss everything in the damn chapter. So here I am, man, wide awake, ready to read Hunter, ladies and gentlemen, to continue the greatness that we left off last week. Yo, last week was such a fun chapter to read, man. It really was. I actually ended up rereading that chapter and just having like a massive laugh, man. Like, I had a lot of fun reading it last week, but here we go. Hunter x Hunter chapter 363, man. Togashi has blessed us with yet another chapter. It's been already 3 weeks since he came back, man. Can't believe already 3 weeks has already passed by, but I haven't heard any, like, rumblings that he's taking a hiatus next week either, so thank God we might have another chapter next week, man. But without further ado, let's get right into the awesome sauce of Hunter x Hunter. Let's start it off right here, man. Woble's royal guards have all been wiped out? Yes, sir. According to the information from the Army's intelligence, that leaves just the 2 hunters who we enlisted from outside agencies. I have no idea who's behind this, but I can't believe they'd go after the baby first, man. This bastard right here has... I still believe is like one of the coolest Nen Beast designs, man. The whole sun and moon thing. Oh, I finally found out what that reminded me of, man. It was of Crollo's ability, of sun and moon. I was like wondering, what the flying flag does that remind me of? That's what it was. Hey, the bodyguards that were assigned to the youngest prince were all belonged to other queens. Yes, sir. In that case, it's strange that every single one of them was wiped out, isn't it? Unless, in order to deflect suspicion from themselves, they killed their own men as well. Actually, there's some issues regarding that I need to discuss with you. Nen Beasts? For now, I have confirmed it with all the other bodyguards already, but none of our men know anything about it. Regardless, the word indeed holds some key to how and why all our bodyguards were killed. Hunter x Hunter. And here we see what appears to be an outline of the entire ship. Rough breakdown of the royal residential area. Dining room, kitchen, workers area, living room, prince's bedroom. If Togashi is showing us this, like I said, that means it's going to be an important role for later on. So here we see. Wait a minute, princess. Okay, so what it's showing. Oh, okay. So they all each have their own individual areas, and within these areas, you see that they have a workers area, kitchen, a dining room, a living room, and a princess bedroom. That's a huge room to have all that in there. So here we have, and they're all lined up, you know, through, you know, each other number. So you have your odd numbers 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. You have your even numbers over here 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 on this side. So with Grobika, Prince Woble, and whatnot, we're on number 14. Oh man, dude, this is, you know, Togashi really said, you know, this, you went full into detail with this. Okay, VVIP residential area. When you see that it's being heavily guarded and everything, man, this is where everything's gonna have to take place. Then, chapter 363, Nen Beasts. The most important area of the ship of offerings, man. Yo, when we said that, dude, I was shook, man. I was shook. The king stated that, you know, this is basically going to just turn into a big sacrificial altar, man. The huge offerings being made out here. I was like, Jesus, man. Let's continue. And then I love it because on the bottom right here, we get to see, I call it Laboon. This massive ship taking them towards the Dark Continent, man. Father, Cammy has something that you... Cammy? From Street Fighter? Cannon Spike? You know, Cammy's been my main for as far as I can remember, man, when it comes to Street Fighter, but Cannon Spike has something that she'd like you to clarify for her. There are many ways that one could interpret the word survive, and I think the definition of having dropped out is also too vague. I'd like you to not accept anything short of biological death as having lost and therefore dropped out of the competition. Is that alright? Let me read this to you one more time, man. Hold on, dude. There are many ways that one could interpret the word survive. You know, there's one way you definitely can't, and that's Metal Gear Survive. Get that trash out of here. Metal Gear Survive, man. And I think the definition of having dropped out is also too vague. I'd like you to not accept anything short of biological death. As in, that bastard's dead. Somebody's dead. Alright? That's whenever they get to drop out of this race. Or of this competition. Is only through death is someone able to drop out of this competition. So even if somebody states it, they're not out of it. I'm going after them. As having lost and therefore dropped out of the competition. So what she's basically saying is, the last person left alive is the one who was going to become king. That is the way that she interprets it here, in this situation. Sweet mother of Flagnards, man. She said, I'd like you to not accept anything short of biological death, man. By the gods. Let's see. I love the way the king speaks, or at least the way Togashi presents it, man. And last week, he was delivering speeches. He was like, it was like those, you know what I mean, man? That's how he was speaking last week. The third prince, Zhang Le asked about the conditions for becoming king as well. Although the nuance of his questions were slightly different. Hui! I'll give you the same answer word for word that I gave him. Hui! Though the one sole survivor that will be the official successor to the throne, how you might interpret that is also part of the succession war. Hui! Love this guy, man. So what he's basically saying is the way that you interpret it is also a part of the succession war. So you might take it as a survival game, you might take it as whatever you're going to take it, but at the end of the day, how you take it is also a part of the game. You know, and that's just a part of Hunter x Hunter right there, man. It really is. How you perceive things and the way that you see it and your perspective is very, very important as well. You know, there's no one overarching rule in the game or in anything in Hunter x Hunter. So I really like that. I really like that Togashi's continuing that here, even in this arc. I love that. The one sole survivor will be this official successor to the throne. How you might interpret that is also a part of it, man. That's awesome. I like that. Hui! Coo. Worrying about such pointless things, Camilla. Is that Benjamin? Benji? The man? If you're doing this because you truly desire to become king yourself, then you've no need to focus on other people's definitions. Yo, man. Yo, Benji's out. Cammy doesn't like that. What Cammy wants is for all the people in the world to act exactly how Cammy thinks they should, man. Yo, is she out here talking and flipping like The Rock, man? You know, The Rock talks in third person? Cammy doesn't like that. What Cammy wants is for all the people in the world to act exactly how Cammy thinks they should. If you smell what Cammy is cooking, man. I like it. And first off, Cammy wants all the princes other than Cammy to die. Ideally, I'd want them to all go off and die on their own. Camilla will be king, so I should just die. That's what I want them all to think. Like, okay, Cammy, this is nowhere near the Cammy I know from Street Fighter, man. This is a savage camper. I like it. I just remembered she's the one that has the titty beast, right? And the one with like a whole bunch of freaking titties, man. And and it's basically the titty monster on top, and then on the bottom it's wearing like this dress, kind of like a Pokemon. What is that Pokemon character, man? I'm not for some. I mean, I am into Pokemon, man, but I'm familiar with the designs, not familiar with the names. More of a Yu-Gi-Oh guy when it comes to like that kind of stuff. But when it comes to Pokemon, like there's just certain designs that I know, but not names. But man, bro, I like it. I like her ferocity. I like the way that Cammy is here, man. We were talking in third person, and she's basically saying that, you know, I wouldn't want to waste my breath with all of you. If it was up to me, I would want all of you to say in your heads, Camilla will be king, so I should just go ahead and die. Why should I even bother with such a thing? That's what I want them all to think, man. And I love how Togashi starts it off from up here, showing her, you know, the way that she looks. Then we get more of a you know, a little view of just you know, upper shot from her chest area to here to her hair, and then you get to see her eyes, man. Like, you're just really focusing right into her eyes, man. And whenever she states that, that was really nice. That choice of paneling by Mr. Togashi here. What a conceited, arrogant woman. Entrusting the royal throne to you would be tantamount to having a mad dog babysit. What an analogy. Entrusting the royal throne to you would be tantamount to having a mad dog babysit. This dude is a troll. How dumb can you get? As if Cammy would ever do something like babysit. You know, she takes things literally, man. She says, screw the analogies. I would not be the type of person to ever babysit. As if I, Cammy, would ever do something as belittling as that. Out of the way. And, you know, my boy, the king, is sitting there listening to all this, just being like, hoo-wee! You know he does, man. Camilla, show your older brother some respect. Unforgivable. This whole world is wrong, and there's no choice left for Cammy to change it by herself. Look at this freaking titty dress beast. It's so weird, dude, but I like it. I like it because it fits. It fits her, man. Just wishing something alone will make it happen. This world is just way too unfair. Father, that is the senseless, wretched reality of one who has no qualifications to become king. As their older brother, I feel only shame. Is this Benjamin? What the flip? Look at this man's face, right? He looks freaking disgusted, bro. He's like, I can't even try to make a face like this, bro. Look at this man. I, Benjamin, shall take responsibility and prune this wretch. I swear to you here and now that I shall protect the great and mighty tree of Kaiken. To say that, he has to make his face like this? Like, what about if he's delivering a speech after he wins, but is he gonna be even uglier? Look at this face. What is going on, bro? Oh, why does he have to deliver such a thing, man? This is quite an expression here, man. I'm speechless. I'm just gonna move on. I don't even want to look at this thing anymore. I'm just gonna move on, and we'll continue, man. I'm expecting great things. Let's see, man. Look at this That's what it was, bro. Somebody last week in the comment section put xenomorph, man. That's what I was looking for, man. This thing looks like a flippin' xenomorph. Kill. Yo, Benjamin's a trip. Did you see his face? By the gods. First Prince Benjamin has left the room. Area 1 is now on maximum alert. I'm gonna kill them right now. I'll kill them all. There's no way I can wait for us to disembark. Yo, he's ready? Benji's ready, man. Yo, he's taking off his shirt, man. You see his nen going around him, right? He's gonna pull a Toguro. He's gonna pull off the shirt, man. You're gonna see muscles on top of muscles, man. He's gonna be looking like Brock. You know, right? He's gonna take on Samoa Joe this weekend. Great balls of fire. I mean, son, yo, Benji's ready. Benji's ready. Look at that, the shirt is off. He's walking around shirtless, showing off the people's muscles, man. He's ready. Tell this to the captain of the private troops, Balsamilko. First bring the fourth prince, Tedashnitch, before me. You don't want to mess with that thing I saw last week, Benji. You don't want to mess with that thing, man. I'm telling you, Benji, from reader to guy participating in this, you would never even want to imagine him dreaming of being in the presence of that thing I saw last week. That thing I saw last week was absolutely and utterly grotesque. I mean, it was disgusting, but at the same time so goat. Like Togashi, he does that at times, man. He presents something so disgusting, so grotesque, something that just it gives you chills. But you can't help but call it goat because it just is. It fits the fourth prince so well. But man, that accordion-necked unicorn-looking mouth inside of mouth. It's disgusting, man. It was disgusting, but it was good at the same time. You do not want to mess with that thing. You don't even want it in your dreams. You don't want it in your nightmares. You don't want to look at it. You don't want to think about it. Don't mess with it. Do not F with that thing, man. I just, don't do it. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. I don't care how you accomplish it, but do not kill him. I'll do that myself. Got it? He said I'll do it. Don't you dare touch him, because I'm going to have the pleasure of killing him. Nen beasts that act as parasite have latched on to us? Then why can't I see them even though I can use Nen? This is just a theory, but perhaps there was a condition that participants in the ceremony would be unable to see the Nen beasts. That is very factual. Perhaps there is a condition. Or perhaps there's some other condition that you don't meet. There we go. That's likely what happened with the 14th Prince Wobble. The fact that the aforementioned Nen beasts wouldn't directly kill 14th Prince Wobble means that there are probably more rules that we don't know about yet, which is what the king was talking about last chapter, where I believe it was spirit beasts cannot attack other spirit beasts that are in this game, and I believe the other rule was a spirit beast cannot attack another human that has a spirit beast protecting it. I believe those were the two rules, if I'm not mistaken. So, and that's why they were not able to take out the 14th prince, because that he is guarded by a spirit beast. So let's go ahead and see right here. We need to get a firm understanding of these rules as fast as we can, and before the other princes do. That will be the key to winning the survival game. Taking any action before we do that could very well cost our own lives. Are you telling me to wait? Yes, there are two main reasons for this. Our enemies are Nen beasts, and as long as you, Sir Benjamin, cannot see them, it becomes extremely dangerous for you to act by yourself. Therefore, we need to completely rework our defensive plans. The other reason has to do with the emergency announcement just now. Now that the words Nen beasts and Nen abilities have been made aware to all the princes and their bodyguards, you could say that our advantage has been almost completely squashed. Let's read this one more time. The other reason has to do with the emergency announcement just now. Now that the words Nen beasts and Nen abilities have been made aware to all the princes and their bodyguards, you could say that our advantage has been almost completely squashed. And I guarantee you that it's not only just something that Benjamin thought, and not only they're just a squad thought, but it had to have been all of them. Because all of them, they're starting this off, and they're unveiling this mystery about the Nen beasts and whatnot, and they're thinking they have an advantage to all the other guys. But in reality, everyone thinks almost the exact same thing. So when the actual announcement is made, everyone simultaneously believes that their disadvantage that they had was crushed. Because I guarantee you that we're not the only ones that were thinking this way. I know that they're not the only ones that were thinking this way, because we saw that with the fourth prince, and then of course we know the Kurapika's group or Kurapika himself knows about these things as well. So everyone thought about this, but simultaneously all of that disadvantage that they all thought they had was immediately taken out. I see you're talking about hunters. All of them are Nen users and have a much longer history with it than we do, in addition to having much more knowledge of Nen. They also possess little insider information about Kaiken as far as the information battle goes. We had the overwhelming victory, but protecting these princes is only a secondary mission for them. Let's go ahead and go. But thanks to the announcement of just one lone hunter, all the bodyguards gained a clear understanding of what they were up against. So now the ones that can use Nen will be on their utmost alert. That's factual. This renders our plan to use Nen for a surprise attack on them useless. That was such an unnecessary thing to do. I can't quite understand. Why would he intentionally broadcast this information to everyone in the emergency channel? 8th Queen Oto wouldn't have told him about the jar ceremony. So why would he even leak to the enemy princes that the fact that he'd confirmed the enemy's identity as a Nen beast? I'd have expected nothing less of you, Sir Benjamin. We also struggled to make sense of that. Deterrence is probably the most likely and reasonable answer. Exactly what I was saying earlier, man. You know, deterrence. Well, let's continue. I want to read the rest before I go back and talk about that. Right now, because of that information, we were being forced to change our plans and wait now, which means they're able to avoid any other situations occurring. Right now, because of that information, we're being forced to change our plans and wait now. Exactly. That's what a deterrent does. which means they are able to avoid any other situations occurring. They won't have to worry about any of the other stuff because of announcements of something like that. It forces everyone to change their plans because no one's just going to outwardly rush and attack now, because they're going to believe that they're in a disadvantage. Or at least that everyone's on the same playing field. Because the only time that you ever go for an ambush, the only time you ever go for an attack, is, or at least from a hunter point of view, when it comes to battle, is whenever you know that you're about to get your prey. When your prey is in the middle of attacking another prey, that's whenever you go in for the hunt. Or whenever your prey is in the middle of doing something and he does not suspect what is coming to him, that's whenever you go in there and you go for the kill. You know, that's just something that we know from just being a fan of Hunter x Hunter. That's something very, very common in the series. The Hunter's original mission lies in the Dark Continent, which makes it reasonable to think that they're aiming to avoid any conflicts on board until they arrive. This also in line with the motives of the younger princes. Since they have much less military force, they are likely to be much more passive in this battle. It's also become apparent that the other hunters have started to actively share information with each other in the response to the announcement. What I love about Togashi is that he takes something as simple as this and he expands on it. And he really makes you think about how much an announcement like this could really change everything. And I love it. I love it. I've always loved that about this series, and now I'm loving it even more. And once again, it goes back to what I was talking about with the Dark Continent thus far discussion, where I said that the election arc was very, very important as a transitional arc between Chimera Ant and this, because the election arc presented that tone shift where stuff like this is important. Because the election arc brought up a lot of that but regardless of that, we continue. But most definitely, man. So then you think the younger princes and their hunter bodyguards are working together to keep each other alive? The situation will start to change greatly depending on how the hunters begin to control the princes and their Nenbis. Factual. Very, very factual. I'm going to read it one more time. So then you think the younger princes and their hunter bodyguards are working together to keep each other alive. The situation will start to change greatly depending on how the hunters begin to control the princes and their Nenbis. Precisely. The Nenbis and hunters' abilities are still unknown. Depending on what they are, they could pose a serious threat to us. I love that word, rather, depending on what they are, because they're unknown. Unknown. Shout out to that one prince that all the unknown around them. On top of that, there might also be Nen users within the older prince's private soldiers. If the princes became aware of Nen thanks to this incident, they may try to gain instruction in mastering Nen themselves. This entire panel right here, this middle panel, is the fourth prince and the storyline happening with Theta that we saw happening last week. That was that entire thing. That just leads me to believe that Togashi is planning to use that right there on Benjamin. Because we know probably now that the fourth prince, even if Theta tries to teach tries to teach him Nen in like the wrong way, and tries to intentionally try to sabotage the way that he learns Nen, the fourth prince seems like the type of dude that would be like a natural at that type of stuff, to where he would just naturally get the hang of it, man, you know? So we'll see what happens there, but I think that is going to be what he's talking about here. If the princes became aware of Nen thanks to this incident, they may try to gain instruction in mastering Nen themselves. And you know, he is trying to gain the instruction by Theta. But I strongly do believe that even though Theta would try to lead him down the wrong path, I still think that he's the type of dude that will find a way to master it himself after getting just a little bit, just the basics, if we know what I mean. So we'll see what happens there. Summon all the private soldiers here now. Yes, sir. Because he acts on impulse. Because he acts on impulse and likes to take the shortest route to a goal, he is easily misunderstood, but his logic does not hesitate and shows no fear. If we supply him with the proper information, he is able to come up with a sound and appropriate decision. In order to guide our still developing country into an even greater nation, he is the only one who possesses the flexibility and understanding we need. I love this panel right here because it shows it from a person who is... This guy is someone who firmly believes that Benjamin can become king. You know, we saw it from last week where Theta's a bodyguard, but she does not want the fourth prince to succeed in the succession war. She does not want this fourth prince to, you know, to gain this unexplicable evil. Well, he already has it, but you know, and going even further beyond that with gaining Nen and learning how to master Nen. You know, we have that situation over there. Then we have, in Kurapika's case, Kurapika doesn't care about making the fourth prince, or the 14th prince king. He's just there for his own personal goal. Even though he's still going to end up protecting her because that's just the way that he is. But, you know, he doesn't give a damn about that. But I love how here we're getting a different perspective on this. Here we're getting someone who actually wants Benjamin to win for the betterment of the country. For the betterment of the country. And for the betterment of, he sees potential in him to lead the country into something greater. You know, and that just presents a brand new type of way of thinking from a protection standpoint. This guy actually really wants to help the world, or not to help the world, but to help the country progress from what it is right now. And he believes that Benjamin is the one who can help him do that. So I think that's really cool. I think that is really cool. From now on, and here he has all of them. I love the stance he has when he's standing there like Guile. And he summons them all right here. From now on, I want you to act as the royal family's bodyguards. Working in shifts with the other members here, you will all work as each of the prince's bodyguards. The details of the mission still remain the same. Guard the princes while observing them and report on their actions. But because of the unknown threat that the enemies pose, this mission has become extremely high risk and dangerous. Very, very factual. Pay the utmost attention to the enemies and hunters' abilities and figure out what they are. If the enemy should attack if it becomes clear that they intend to attack, then look at this man's face, bro. I mean, is it just his natural face whenever he gets hype? Then exercise your right to defend yourself by whatever means necessary. In other words, you have my permission to kill your opponent, man. That is very, very important. Because whenever you have the guy that you're following telling you that you have permission to kill your opponent, that just gives you a little thing in the back of your mind that says, if need be, your survival instincts will kick in. If need be, if it gets really, really bad, remember what he said. You can use whatever means necessary to get the job done and to kill your opponent. You must stay alive and you must deliver the information of what these enemies or what they have for survival. But the thing here is that he does not know that these guys can't see their enemies. Or how should I put this? He does not know the rules behind this game, and I'm curious as to how that's gonna end up screwing them over, because the king knows them, but I don't think anyone else does when it comes to the rules. So we'll see what happens. Yes, sir. And then we see all of them. They all actually have different faces, man. Some of them look really funny. Balsamiko. Oh man, we ever see the xenomorph coming out from the back. Are you able to see my Nenbis? Yes, it is a Nenbis. That is indeed fitting for the next king. Yo, look at that smile, bro. Look at that grin. Yo, xenomorph. Yo, Benjamin, man. So first Prince Benjamin has used his private troops to spy on all the other princes as their bodyguards. Royal bodyguards must normally be official troops of the king's army to be assigned to that position. But being the military supreme vice commander, or military's supreme vice counselor, Benjamin's private troops are allowed this sole right. Don't you dare let them wander into Cammy's sight. If they take even one step into the living room, kill them and call mom. Freaking Cammy, man. These are clearly measures taken. Yo, look at the way he's thinking, man. He's grabbing the chin. That's when you know you're deep in the thought. There are clearly measures taken in response to the announcement. This is a chance to learn about Nenbis. Oh man, here goes the fourth prince, yo. How shall we handle this? You, fourth prince, that is Nitch. Being the first queen's child, I have no obligation to acquiesce to their request. Tell them they're fools. I'm in the middle of my new meditation. Yo, he said, tell them they're fools. Get them out of here. The person that made that emergency announcement, they're trying to draw things to a stalemate. I want information on that hunter. Bring it to me immediately. All the phones on board are controlled by the king's army. Contacting Melody and the others would be very risky. Couldn't you use Cyreid's power to investigate the other princes? The wireless phones used by the bodyguards to contact each of their princes have their channels fixed, so I won't be able to contact any of the other princes' bodyguards with them. Although we couldn't bring them into the prince's living quarters, if I could get a hold of another group's wireless phone, I'd be able to exchange information. It's possible, but we can't just go snooping around blindly. If we don't narrow down a target and what information we need, we won't be able to we won't be able to keep vigilant watch over the prince while taking the long time required for this high-risk operation. No matter what we decide on, though, we're overwhelmingly short on manpower. It's probably the first prince's bodyguard. We're throwing a new spy on top of the situation? Hello? I contacted you previously. I'm under the employ of the first prince, the royal bodyguard Vincent. I wonder what's wrong. I had even just finished breastfeeding him. Maybe he's sleepy. I'll take him to his bedroom. Also, I'm a little bit worried about the new person being here. Yo, if he's crying, that means he's scared. That's the way it works. Either he's scared, he's hungry, or he's sensing something off, man. That's the way it works with babies. I understand. We'll make sure to watch over the entryway at all times in shifts. Got it. They're shook. They're shook. What the? Bill, watch the prince! Ah, that was just in the nick of time. Yep. What the freaking hell's going on? This is the Vincent dude, right? I know he's a part of Benjamin's squad. She suddenly pulled a knife on me and tried to attack me, so I had no choice. He's exercising that right to kill. And on top of that, she had this little vial of poison on her. Yep. So as you can see, I exercised my right to defend myself. She probably tried to stick me with it. Oh, that was a close call. Yep, he's not a spy. He's an assassin. Dude, man, the blade has been let loose. Will it pierce? Will it be dodged? Will it be broken? That's the end of the chapter, man. Holy flagnorns. Yo, Benjamin just told them to start this, right? And he's already here just going in like swimwear. Straight up getting in there. But the thing here is, this is important. This is very, very important. Because Benjamin told him the most important thing about this entire thing is to retrieve information on the other Nenbis. And on their Nen in general. So this guy is basically on a sacrifice mission. I mean, seriously, he is over here on a suicide mission to gather information on Kurapika. Because he's out here, his main thing is going to be, he's going to try to do as much possible here in order to make Kurapika unveil, or make the 14th Prince unveil his Nen beast, and to make his bodyguards reveal their Nen, because they're going to need the information in order to, have an advantage in this war. So, very interesting approach by Benjamin, because he's straight up just telling his soldiers, like, yo, go out there and get the information, man, go in like swimming, what are they going to do? Try to stop you? And when they try to stop you, that's when you get information. So they get the information, take out some dudes while you're at it, and come back. By the gods, man. Interesting chapter of Hunter x Hunter this week, man. Interesting chapter of Hunter x Hunter. Yet another fun chapter, though. Another fun chapter to read. This week, it was mainly focused on Benjamin and Cammy. Cammy, we got to see what kind of person that she is, and the personality that she has, man. She even going as far as stating that I wish that all of them would just take themselves out. I don't want to take part in this crap. So we got to see more of Cammy, we got to see more of Benjamin, and now we're here back with Kurapika here in the end. Now, what I find interesting is how Togashi is the way that he is pacing the princes. And what I mean by that is he's going through this boat ride, and he's showing this little bits and pieces and little stories with each one of the princes whenever it's relevant. So, for example, we have I keep forgetting, I forget his name, but it's the one with the 6 dots on his head, the one with the sun and moon Nenbis. We got to see a little bit more of him this week, and then we got to see a little bit more of Cammy, and then we got to see a little bit more of Benji. Last week we got to see a lot of them, but it was mainly focused around Tedishnich and his and his squad, with Theta and whatnot. So I like how Togashi is showing us important pieces here and then, while also progressing the plot forward. And I'm looking forward to seeing more of the other princes and whatnot. But for right now, we can see who the most important princes are in this war thus far. At least the way that I can see it, in terms of, the ones that are like the main players. And that is, of course, the 4th Prince, the 14th Prince, Halkenberg, Benjamin and I think Cammy could be up there as well. She has been focused on a lot, but I still think that she might be a part of the last 5 that'll end up you know, in that last like part of the war. But we'll see. But we see that Togashi, even though he's showing other guys like Sale Sale, and when Sale Sale is still my favorite, but you know, the other guys, but you see that he's mainly focusing on this section of them. But with Hunter x Hunter, you can never be too sure, because, excuse me, even guys that are being focused on a lot, they could get waxed on the next page, because that's just the way the Hunter x Hunter works. But besides that, guys, good chapter this week. Good toss of a chapter. Got a lot of fun to read once again. Once again, I'm very, very sorry for not being able to do a video yesterday, man, and not having it done last night. But I'm happy that I was able to do it now, man. I was wide awake. I was able to read it, and it was a lot of fun, man. It was really interesting. I'm gonna go back and reread that entire section with Benjamin whenever he's talking to Balrasico, right? The way I'll go back and look at his name, but I love that. I loved how he specifically was talking about Benjamin as this guy that they could take him, and that he could serve as a king who would lead us into a new country. Because with everyone else, it feels like they're worried about their own goals and their own things. Like, they don't care about who becomes, like, they don't care about the betterment of the country. How do I put this? Their main focus is not to make their prince the next king. It's more about survival and more about how they're going to get out of the situation and how they're going to prevent certain things and for their own personal goals. But in Benjamin's group, man, with that particular guy, he actually wants Benjamin to become the next king for the betterment of the country. So it's a really good little new perspective that we're getting on that there. But besides that, guys, that's gonna be it for me today. Awesome, really good chapter of Hunter this week. Good chapter, solid chapter. But we continue on. Next week's gonna be interesting. Here we're gonna see Vincent and Kurapika, and we'll see what happens, man. Will he just come here to try to see their abilities? What will Kurapika end up doing? And we'll see what the other princes end up doing as well. I'm looking forward to seeing more from the 4th prince as always, man. He's such an interesting character, and Benjamin's freaking faces this week, man. Jesus Christ, but regardless of that, guys, have a synopsis for today. Hunter x Hunter greatness. Leave me your comments down below on what you guys said about this week's chapter of Hunter x Hunter, and I'll see you guys next week for more Hunter x Hunter awesome sauce. Looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to it.